Hey MGTOWs, this is Vention. Man, I am still sore, and we moved this wood pile the day before yesterday. It was located right there, and I couldn't get the mower behind it, and I had to use like the hand mower, and even then it was too narrow between the hugel bed and the planter. And the wood pile, and blackberries were also growing up through it. It had to be restacked. Man, I am so grateful that that application called TaskRabbit is available, because man, this would have been brutal. That's the thing, is something like this, I could have done this without batting an eye like 10 years ago, maybe as little as like when I was 45, just a few years, and man, it kicked my butt. Now I do heavy work at whoops, sorry, I'm covering the microphone with my hand here. I gotta watch that. Anyway, I do heavy work at work, and it's definitely physical, but it's something I'm trained up for. And in frames, engine work, and squeezing underneath transmissions and stuff, I'm used to that. But doing something like this, even though it really isn't that much, it kicked my ass hard. So, I gotta say, the MGTOW lifestyle is great, but you've got to plan for situations like this when you're going to, because the time will come when you are not physically able to do the things that you can do now. And it's a real wake-up call, and women, of course, have a lot of trouble with this. And it's one of the reasons why they're so afraid to end up alone and old, because they know how badly they are fucked if they do that. So basically, and it's the same with guys to some extent. But fortunately, we can substitute what teenage sons would normally be doing for us, using money. If you save your pennies and invest wisely, and don't spend a lot of money on stupid things like expensive cars and what like that Dodge Stratus I have out front. That's 20 years old now. I'm not used to thinking of that car as that old, but man, it's old. But whenever anything breaks, so far I've been able to fix it. So basically, the time is coming when I'm really going to have to watch and plan for the day that I am not physically capable of doing what I'm doing now. Now, as you guys all know, I'm into Bitcoins and stacking silver and basic preparedness and stuff like that. And I was interacting with some people in one of those chat rooms, or one of those comment sections, and then somebody came on when I was talking about the economic cycle and stuff, and it's a woman, and she was saying, "Oh, I'm into silver stacking too, and I am severely disabled, and my income is only $890 a month or something, my van is not working, and a friend might be fixing it, and I can save about $200 a month. And what would you recommend I do to get prepared for the oncoming recession?" What am I going to tell somebody like that? Basically, in the old days, somebody like that would have had a family, and would have probably not ridden the alpha carousel throughout her 20s. Oh, look at the little squirrel. And then she probably wouldn't have painted herself into a corner and then got disabled and have no support system, right? And she didn't mention anything about family. And the result is she's like dependent on government and subsidized housing and all that. So basically, she is pretty much screwed. That's the only thing I could say. And I mean, I recommended that she, I mean, what are you going to tell somebody like that? You know, she has basically painted herself in a corner. Um, she is disabled. She is dependent on government handouts and friends helping her and stuff. And it's pathetic, you know. What are you going to say to somebody like that? But as I was, I mean, as I was trying to say, well, what's the best thing for her to do? But then I realized this is not my problem. MGTOW, hello. So there are people who will make poor decisions in their lives, and those people will paint themselves into a corner in their lives till their options are limited so far down that there is really nothing they can do. And then when there's a nasty recession or some big shakeup or something, like what's happening in Venezuela, I mean, the only thing they can do is die. So I didn't say that. And I didn't say what I would do her in her position, because I would take my 380 pistol and put it in my mouth and pull the trigger if I was in her position, right? But that's because men are not valued by society as much as women, you know, and as a result, we don't value our own lives as much. And when our lives become a real burden to us, we are vastly more likely to end that life. So, so basically, it just seems like it would be not a very nice thing to do to you know, say something like that. So I didn't. I just said, well, you have an abundance of time. So what you could do is study the economic cycle and basically put away a little food and then just educate the shit out of yourselves about Bitcoin. I mean, she could stack silver. She sure could. She could buy like maybe $100 a month worth of silver, and it would go up a lot over the next 3 years, but not enough to make a life-changing amount of money for her. So the only thing she's got, the only option she's got, as far as I can see, that would make a meaningful difference in her overall financial well-being or future, the only thing I can see is Bitcoins. So I suggested that she educate herself on Bitcoins, learn how to use them, and then once she gets a wallet and an address, I'll send her $1 to show her how easy it is. And then basically, you know, then she could put some money into that every month, and then and when she wants to buy silver, she can go through JM Bullion and get like 5% off. They offer a nice little discount if you use Bitcoins to purchase silver with. And then she doesn't have to have transportation to get where she wants to go. And she can also use purse.io to get like 15 to 20% off of an Amazon.com purchase. So she can get things that delivered much less expensively, right? Or somewhat less expensively. So that's the only thing I could say, you know. But basically, what she is she's painted herself into a corner. She has not created the family ties which would save a woman in a situation like that. And so the result is she has nobody but the government, and the government doesn't give a shit about any of us. And as soon as shit really hits hard and inflation really starts hitting, then that disability check that she's getting is just going to not go nearly as far, and people are going to start dying. And there is not much you can do to help people like that. And of course, because like years ago, you know, she she wouldn't have given me the time of day. and she was probably riding the alpha cock carousel, and just not creating the systems of support which women have traditionally depended upon. She was probably singing, "I am woman, hear me roar." Well, now all I'm hearing from her is a whimper, and the result is she is in the situation she's in, and that's just the way it's going to happen. And guys know, we know that nobody gives a shit about us, so we know better as a rule to than to do shit like that and maintain our lives that poorly. So we just we have to plan and build systems of support and make plans for when we no longer have the physical capability to take care of ourselves. But even if you're Howard Hughes and have just endless amounts of money, the time will come when what you have to work with in the world, no matter what it is, it's not going to be enough to allow you to survive, and then you will die. So it's just one of those realities. So that's what I told her is like bitcoins and silver, and she is a good example and a good bad example to us all. That you've got to build systems of support for yourself that will tide you through and get you through when your body and your other capabilities start to fail. And we also know that it's just a delaying tactic, because nobody lives forever and nobody lasts forever, and everything you have built will be gone eventually. So just thought I would share that cheerful thought. But the object is just to have as good a life and as comfortable a life as possible while we're here. So yeah, anyway, on this wood pile, I had blackberries growing through it and everything. It was really bad. So I threw this barrier cloth down first, and then built the wood pile there, and then we reloaded it all, and and then hopefully this time, and since we can mow all the way around it now with the ox, we'll be able to keep the blackberries out of it, I think. I'll probably throw a sheet of plastic over it by the time it gets cold, because the time could come, if we have like a power failure or something, where we might have to pull some of this wood out and throw it in my little camp wood stove, and set the wood stove up in the fireplace, and then we can cook on it and do some minor heating with it, depending on how long the emergency lasts. So this should probably be enough, because most power failure situations don't last that long. So in any case, I guess I will let you guys go and just okay, one last thing I should probably cover, and that's when a guy gets married, if things can go wrong, and we do get old, and the systems we think that we have constructed for ourselves to get us through our old age, those systems have a nasty habit, like family ties, have a nasty habit of evaporating right about the time we need them. One guy in my comments section is talking about how he got cancer, and then he had to smoke marijuana because the doctor prescribed it, and then his wife divorced him, saying that she didn't want marijuana in the house or something. And basically all the effort that he put into building that family and everything, it's gone, because the woman booted his ass out, and then basically she now is the center of that family, and he's just an exile, you know. So any help he would be able to get when he's old from that family is unlikely to be very much, if at all, if anything. So it's more wise in my opinion, to remain MGTOW, because the systems you can build with a family just are not dependable. But uh, things like wealth, you know, housing, a house that's paid off, and the stability of not being vulnerable to like the family court system or a woman's loyalty, um, those things are something you can depend on. So there are no guarantees in this world, man. It's anything could happen. As my dad always says, there could be a jet engine falling from a plane and it could be like just above me and it could be right about to hit, you know. No one lives forever. Um, and yeah, I could die tomorrow, but it's a good idea to plan for a situation where your physical capabilities are curtailed dramatically, and you know, make plans for what you're going to do in that situation, because unless you die unexpectedly, chances are you're going to be in a position where your physical abilities are not going to be what they are now. And I'm starting to experience that. That little wood pile, just moving it just a few feet, kicked my ass. I didn't do anything yesterday and I'm still sore. So be warned, MGTOWs, you're not going to be 20 forever. So that's about it. That's about all I got for you. So don't get married. Later.